Found an old Sony Digimatic clock radio at a garage sale for 50 cents. I couldn't pass this one up. How old, you ask? How about 1978? This is a mechanical flip clock, and it still works. I found this old Sony mechanical flip clock, a vintage one, at a garage sale for 50 cents. And I couldn't pass this one up. And for any of you wondering why my right hand looks to be twice the size of my left hand, well, I got stung by a wasp yesterday, right on my finger here, and my hand is still pretty sore. So this thing was made in Hong Kong, China, in other words. Now, of course, these go back to some of the earlier digital clocks. This was one of the first designs. There was a few others out there that used mechanical rotating drums and stuff. The first really popular ones were these flip clocks. And of course now they're retro. Everybody wants to make the old flip clock again. This one sounds like it's got something loose inside, so we're going to pop the top off this and see what falls out of it before I even plug it in. Got an external antenna on it too. It says this FM lead is useful for better FM reception. Extend it to full length. That's the gray wire here, this one. And the brown is an FM as well for external antenna. And the white is the AM. And then the black one is the ground, which looks like it has a ground plug already on it here. Interesting, I've never seen that before. Not on a clock radio with an external antenna. We'll just pull out the screws here and open this unit up and see what makes it tick. And for those keeping score, this one's an ICF C570W. And don't believe it has a date this unit was made. But I'm going to guess that this is probably, I mean, this could even be 80s for that matter. It's an IC, 6 transistors in one IC. So it's going to be maybe late 70s, early 80s. This may have been made right around the end of the mechanical clock era, for that matter. That I don't know. Let's take the top off of it here. And here's the radio with all the wires attached to it. It's got a conventional tuner here with a dial string. And here's this wonderful mechanical clock. A half decent sized speaker. Let's plug it in and see if it works. Now usually this is an AC powered clock. Usually these had a type of a light on it so you could see it in the dark. Usually it was a neon bulb. I don't see any neon light in this one. So maybe it's burned out. There should be a light in there to light up the clock in the dark. This is the switch over here that controls the radio. Where's the knob for it? There's a switch over here to control the radio. And basically what it does is it...
For details on these shows and more, check out cfox.com.
It controls the power to this. There's a switch over here which is operated, it's a mechanical switch which is actually operated from the actual motor, and you can see that the motor is turning because it has a little scroll on the side here which doesn't show on the front on this. Some of them actually had a cutaway so you can see the motor spinning. This one doesn't. This one's got it facing actually out the back. You can see it here, but you can see the motor's turning, so we know that the clock is running. And this operates on 10 volts, so it's running through the transformer. Most of these clocks ran on full line voltage, 120 volts, but this one here actually operates through the transformer. But it's AC synchronized, so it needs to be running on 60 hertz. If you had a 50 hertz version, the motor would run fast because the motor is synchronized to the incoming AC line frequency. There's some other stuff stuck up here on the board. I guess that's just a little clip to hold some wires in place. I'm interested in getting a light back on this thing so that it lights up in the dark. We'll just wait and see whether it flips the time. Make sure that it works. It says 11:08 now. So we'll just see if it flips to 11:09 on its own. And that'll tell me that the clock is actually working. There it goes. So we know that the clock is functional. I'm going to shut off the power here to work on this. Let's lift the clock out. It just lifts out as a module. Oh, it does have the little scroll wheel on the front too, so it's just there's no cutout on the face of this one. Looks like they illuminated this clock with an incandescent bulb. There's a little incandescent bulb down here, which is no doubtably burnt out. So this might be one that is suitable to put an LED in to illuminate this. That might look nice. I was thinking a neon bulb, a lot of the older ones, so this is probably a little newer. I'm just looking to see if there's a date on this thing here. It's a Copal 10 volt AC. Made in Japan. See, this is going to be a more recent vintage of the synchronous clock. And you can see all the little gears in here. Right, when this operates, if we turn on the power, it's just a conventional electric clock mechanism that operates it. So you'll see the little gears, your little reduction gears turning from the synchronous motor to operate the clock mechanism. Just like the clock section, the radio also lifts out, and the radio dial itself here also would support a light to illuminate it. Looks like the light is missing for that one. It looks like the light goes in right here, shines into this light pipe, which would light up the dial and also light up the pointer. You'll see here the plastic, the light would shine out the edge of the plastic here and into the pointer, which would illuminate the pointer. So it looks like I got to replace the light bulb there as well. I don't know where it was picking up its power from. I would imagine that light only operates when the radio is on, but this other one over here operates all the time, and that's the wires that connect to it there. So we can measure the voltage, and we'll just create a little voltage dropper and power it up with an LED. I'm sure I can find an LED that will fit in here, a white LED that will fit in here and look quite nice. The first one of these I ever had when I was quite young was an old General Electric, and it actually used a neon, a little NE2 bulb that went down in the base here. And then Sony at one time, they actually had little black lights. They had a little fluorescent black light that would make the paint glow blue on them. But say this looks to be a little more recent vintage as far as this design of clock goes, because everything's gone low voltage. The older ones, it was 120 volts to the motor and 120 volts to the LED, or to the neon lamp that illuminated the digits. Just lifts up out of the way. And you can change the light bulb. It's just stuck in place with tape. We can take the light out and we'll find a suitable replacement. I'll first check the voltage here at the terminals to determine whether it's AC that it's receiving or DC. You guys might notice I'm using a different meter right now. It's because my fluke isn't feeling too good. It would definitely be a fluke if my fluke was accurate today. I see nothing on the DC range, so let's try AC. and we'll see that the bulb has about 5 volts AC across it. Okay, I've soldered some wires onto an LED. I need to get a load resistor, and I'm thinking something maybe about 82 ohms will probably be about right. I'll guess about 82 ohms. I did not do any calculations or research. I just, off the top of my head, thought 82 ohms will do the job. So I'm sure someone's going to correct me and tell me that that's not the right value, but I reached into my resistor bin, and that was the first one that came out. So that's which one's going on. Real scientific, isn't it? Forgotten how to solder in the last week? No, it's just because my hand is killing me. I think this tip is just about done on this iron. Okay, I'll put this onto the board here. One to here. And the other side to here. And when I turn on power, yeah, it works. So, I wonder how this is going to work in this light pipe. Probably not very well unless I point it in to shine into the light pipe, because of course the LEDs are directional, and an incandescent bulb was not. So if I put this in just the way the old one came out, it's probably not going to throw enough light in this light pipe to do much good. I really need to get it to go in to the light pipe more like that, so it lights the entire light pipe up. That's my meter telling me it's about ready to shut off. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of jam the LED in sideways here so that it fires its light right down the light pipe itself, kind of like that. Mount the clock back in here and the radio. Kind of set them in place with it running here. Okay, I've got the clock remounted with the lights on here. Let's see if they light up the digits in the dark. I think that answers that question. They actually glow quite nicely. Probably almost as good as they did when they had the incandescent bulb in there. Okay, the clock looks good. Let's see if we can get another light for the radio and make it look good too. So to find a switch source, I have to poke around in here and find a source of power that's switched when the radio is on. This is ground. I got 0 volts here on this rail, 0 volts here, but the radio is not on right now. Let me turn on the radio and see if any of these, one of these has got to be a power lead. I'm thinking this one here, it's got a wire that's bridged over to it as well. So let me just turn on the radio. And we have 10 volts. So that's going to be the point that I'm going to use. I'm going to put a resistor on here. 10 volts is going to take a little bit bigger dropping resistor. I think I'll go with like about a 160 ohm this time, something like that. And we'll get another wire over to here for this other LED that I'll put in here. LEDs are coming out of an old Lights of America light that failed years ago. Okay, I'll solder a couple of wires onto this LED. This one should be the positive lead here, I think. And this is the switch line here, over to ground over here. And when I turn it on, that's a little better. Okay, the light goes just down in here for the radio. I guess I better turn that down so that I don't... oh yeah, that'll light that dial up quite nicely. I'm gonna stuff this down in here like that. There we go. So with the radio off, the clock glows, and if I turn on the power to the radio, now you can see the entire dial. Yeah, the radio dial is brighter than the clock. That's intentional. It normally would have been brighter than the clock because it has more display to light up, and the clock is meant to be dim so as to not keep you awake in the dark. When you look at that at night, when your eyes are adjusted to darkness, the clock is going to be more than bright enough to see. While I'm at it, I'm going to give the controls and switches a shot of contact cleaner. So here's some cleaner into the switch. We'll work the switch back and forth. And then we'll do the same for the volume control over here. Kinda like it how simple this is. There's the, I guess is that the snooze button? I think that's snooze. Or is that sleep? There's a button on top here. It might be sleep. Anyway, oh, it's got a sleep. No, the sleep timer's up here. It's mechanical. That might be snooze. Okay, so the top just fits on just like this. Radio is properly mounted, which it is. Okay, so just the top should just slide onto it. Yeah, just like that. Wires come out the back. A little slot in the back here that the wires come out of. Okay, it's all back together.
Because it doesn't have any value?
This has got a mechanical sleep. I gotta fix this button. It sticks.
It can all be recovered in
got a mechanical sleep timer.
Material that we don't have to
power, and then wake to radio or wake to buzzer. It's mechanical. The clock set dial is on the side. Let's just set the clock. 6:43 p.m. And then the alarm time, if I set it to radio, I dial the alarm time back to get to 6.
Or 2 or 3,
Radio
which
works.
is $19 for women, $15.
there you go. Sony Digimatic mechanical flip clock radio, vintage, quite rare. I haven't seen too many of these around. Picked this one up for 50 cents at the neighbor's garage sale. Thanks for watching.